What's up, everybody? It's your girl Q1, and I am back with All's Fair Season 1, Episode 6. Divorce is like a death. Before I start, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Click the notification bell button. Y'all already know what to do. You heard me. Yes. So, we can get this going. The episode starts with Car critiquing nasty ass Chase. Okay, critiquing his hair. She was like, I told you how to have your hair. And she put out some shampoo spray. Now, I didn't know that there was shampoo spray, and I'm pretty sure there is some. All right. So she fixed his hair before they have their, right before mediation start. Okay. This is the first time we see Chase and Alora in the same place ever since he asked her for the divorce. So, anyway, Cara quotes. She was like, she told Chase, have you heard of Maya Angelou? And he was like, who? She was like, of course you have not, Yeah, it's very evident that he doesn't know who she is. So she describes Maya Angelou as a Beyonce of words, but classier. I just want to say this really quick. Carrington's banter was extreme. I found myself laughing at the most salacious things. Okay, that she said on today's episode. On yesterday's episode. I was like, wow, why did I find that funny? Shame on you. Shame on you, Erica. Okay. Again, if y'all don't know, my real name is Erica. Okay, I've said it a bunch of times. Anyway, so this is what she tells Chase. Whoever gets the judge to pass the tissue wins. So whoever cries first. All right. She tells him that he's the victim and he's deserving of everything. And I'm looking at Car like, do you like him? It's just odd. Like, do you like him? So she gives him a napkin, and the napkin has been dipped in wasabi. And of course, he is for him to wipe his eyes so he can immediately start to cry. I tell you, this lady is so ruthless. It is, it's unreal. I've never seen it before. So Chase had the nerve, as they're sitting in a mediation, he had the nerve to text Alora saying she looks hot. And I was looking at him like the nerve, like he used his sexuality and his charm to get what he wants. I have noticed that throughout these episodes, the way he touched on these women without their permission. Okay, he think that his charm can get him everywhere, and I'm really starting to see that he does have a schmex problem. All right. So, meanwhile, Car and Alberta, the other attorney, they're kissing the judge's ass. Okay. So Emerald shows up late. She's like 5 minutes late. She's profusely apologizing. Like, I'm sorry, did this, And so she shows up with, information that she gave to Alora and Dina. At this point, eye contact has been a lot. Facial expressions and eye contact has been a lot throughout these mediations. So you can tell, you can actually see what's going on without them saying anything. And so Alberta and Car look a little nervous because they're like, what she got? Okay, what she ain't supposed to have nothing else because we got this on lock. All right. So he asked both Chase and Alora to have a conversation with each other. And I'm going to give Chase the benefit of the doubt. I think the words he was saying to Alora was his truth and how he really felt. I think just a little bit, he squeezed out that tear, but after a while, you seen a seriousness on Chase and how, he's seen her face and how he made that girl feel and his actions and what he did to her, So I'm going to give Chase some grace. I feel like he was really apologetic. I feel like he felt bad for his actions, but karma's still gonna circle around on your dirty ass because you nasty, okay? But I will give Chase his kudos a little bit, just a little bit, this episode, Okay. So Emerald looking at Chase like this nigga. Okay. Looking at him like he full of shit. Cause you ain't you full of it. Yeah, you looking at him just like that. And Dina sitting there smiling because y'all know Dina I just love my man, my man, my man. Okay, y'all know that's Dina. Okay, she old school. Okay. So I think she sees the truth that what's his name, that Chase is saying. Okay. And so she got a little smirk on her face because he's being forthcoming with Allura about how he felt and all of the things. So Allura's face didn't move. Okay, I don't know if it's the Botox or because y'all know she got good RBF. I don't know if that's the Botox of it all and all, the Botox injections. I don't know, but one will say it could be Botox. All right. So like I said, he squeezed out that one tear. Allura gets emotional and she goes to the restroom and she just crying and crying and crying. Not just, she's trying to get herself together. So Dina comes into the restroom with her and tells her, you will get through this. You will get through this. And Allura started her cycle. So she admits to Dina that the embryos didn't take. Dina tells her, listen, you can get into legal trouble. You can get into trouble. Like, she was like, well, I didn't want to tell you and have you in an accessory. Okay. So Dina was like, okay, we just have to keep this information from Carr. All right. So Allura gets back, she gets herself together, gets back. She say what she needed to say to Chase nasty ass. Okay. And he's sitting over there looking guilty AF because of all the stuff he has done behind this lady's back. Okay. In addition to getting her co-worker, her homegirl, pregnant. Okay. Because we didn't forget about that. And then he started to cry. Now, the way Carl was looking at him like this bitch ass nigga. Like, that's how she was looking. Okay. He wanted to talk to Allura, but Carl was like, no, because she knew anything he said in that moment was going to F up the whole thing. All right. It was going to F him up royally. And so, Carl, they go out. Everybody separate. Carr tells Chase that he's the victim and she got her law degree for I'm sorry, y'all. She said you were the victim and Allura got her degree from doing the bend and snap. I'm sorry. If you had not watched Legally Blonde, okay, with Reese Witherspoon, and she told the lady who worked at the nail shop how to get the man, and she do the bend and snap, okay? And y'all know, baby, Elle was I'm not gonna say she was dumber than a box of rocks, but she was. Yeah, she went to law school to go chase after the dude, but she ended up getting her law degree. Kind of mirror a little bit Kim Kardashian, but I don't know. Anyway, so they want Chase to contest the prenup. That's their new plan, to contest the prenup. All right. So everybody get back into the mediation. And we found out that Allura has a school in her father's name. She has a foundation in her father's name that pay for kids to go to school. And so all of this stem from Allura and her mom not getting along so well. And so because of that, her mom sent her to a reform school the first 2 years, which is why she didn't attend the school that her dad taught. Her dad taught at I don't know what type of school it was, but her dad taught at a school. She was there her junior and senior year. But she was at the reform school as a freshman and a sophomore. And we found out that they physically, mentally, and I think maybe sexually abused Allura at that school. And so her dad found out because I don't think her parents were together. So when her father found out, he took her out of the school and he moved her. I think she started living with her dad, and she started going to the school that he was teaching her last 2 years of high school. All right. So Car have a moment of humanity, and she extend her apologies to Alora. And we also found out that Alora purchased that reform school, and she shut it down and closed it so no other girl would go there and feel and go through the same thing that she went through. And I was like, wow, that's a lot. All right. So I don't think she disclosed the foundation or anything. She didn't disclose it in her prenup or anything like that. And the way they found out, it was a cross-examination that Attorney Dome had did, and it was the way she cross-examined Alora, that made Alora confess without them making an accusation to her having a foundation. All right. So the judge is basically side-eyeing Alora because she wasn't truthful with that, and he's taking that into consideration. And then he gets threatened by Car. He was like, because it sounded like she was trying to bribe him. And she was like, I'm not bribing you, I'm threatening you. I'm like, oh my God. Sorry, y'all. So we see Chase. He's standing against the wall, and he really looked like he wanted to say something. I guess he was wanting to say something, and they kept telling him no. So that was that on that. So attorney, I feel like she did well in this scene to getting Kim to confess something without trying to get her to confess. But the judge did see that. He said you did do like a somewhat of a forced cross-examination. All right. So at this point, that prenup is now null and void. Okay. Car and Lorraine are outside, and she lets Lorraine know that Alora has never let me in, like I've seen her today. And she said, I've known them for a long time. So we do know that Car wanted to be in the midst of those ladies. She wanted to be, and because she wasn't selected, she held that in. She held that grudge in forever. So Emerald wants to disclose the video she found on Car. Dina tells her no, and that I don't want to make Car worse than what she is. So the video that will come out that Emerald had, it would probably have her maybe, if not really disbarred, but she wouldn't be able to practice. She'll lose everything she had. And Dina was like, no. And Emerald was like, why? Make it make sense for me. And so Dina feels like, I feel bad for never telling Alora and Emerald to take you as well as Car with them. She's saying because of that, Car became a monster. And had I suggested Car to those ladies, I feel like Car would have been a better version of herself. All right. She says she don't want to cause any more pain on Car, and that the video. Oh yeah. That's what I wrote. She didn't want to cause any more pain for Car. And I thought that was very telling of Dina and her character. Like the moment I saw Glenn Close on screen, I was like, yeah, her character, Dina, yeah, she all right with me. All right. And no matter how many times Car has called Dina a bitch to her name, she trashed the lady office, she still was never going to stoop low. Okay. Anyway, Chase have a conversation with Alora. He apologizes, and she tells him not to say those words in the courthouse, and I want to say in jail. Okay. And again, he touches he the touching, the excessive touching, and the using your, you just using your sexual woes, like that stuff works. You can't stop touching people, and if stop trying to entice women and just say I'm sorry, like, so Alora kept it cute. She was like, listen, they ready, let's go, and so she did tell him, don't say you're sorry, especially in here, all right. And I felt like that was her throwing him a bone. Like, even though you treated me like shit, even though you tried to play me, I'm still gonna throw your raggedy ass a bone. Okay? So, again, they, not Chase, but Chase's attorneys, are asking for properties, $1 million a month in alimony, and 50% of stake in a law firm in exchange for the embryos and everything else. And so Carr takes this moment to shame Alora because she can't have any. So she shames Alora because Alora can't have any kids. All right. So Dina looks at Carr and tells her, "You poor girl," and she was like, "I failed you," and she was like. So Carr looked at Dina and was like, well, I accept your apology. I would accept your apology, but I won't. And I really think she deep down wanted to hear that apology from Dina. But of course, she has to show a certain type of front. It is what it is. So Alora admitted to using those embryos. And the judge was like, really? So Chase was like, listen, all of this ends today. He apologized. He gets up and Carr is telling him to sit down. They're instructing him to sit down. He was like, no. He apologized. And at this point, Dina gets a call from her nurse. Dina gets up and she goes to take the phone call. And she has to leave. So Emerald has to take over. So they, we're in another recess. Emerald and Alora goes to Dina, checks on her, and she was like, I have to go. Of course, that was the hospice nurse that called. So she had to go, and she told, Emerald that you needed to take the lead on this. And Alora backs Emerald up. And I was like, girl, this lady acting like she Johnny Cochran / Martin Luther King the third, okay? Baby, the way she was acting in there, okay? So Emerald was like, if we gonna do this my way. I was like, oh, girl, no, ma'am. So Emerald let them know, you hoes ain't taking nothing. Not even a ballpoint pen out of here, okay? So we find out that Chase was gambling, and he, I guess, some type of card shark. It was like, we can't really use that, so, give us something else. So Carr talks about those pics. Y'all remember the pictures? She had those pictures scrubbed. But the pictures where homeboy raped her that night. And she was tied up. Carr threw those pictures in Emerald's face. And I was like, I just want to say this. Carr started it and Emerald ended it. Okay? And then Carr tried to use, in true fashion, tried to use her white woman tears. Like, bitch, you started it. You threw my assault in my face. You don't give a damn. I don't give a fuck. Let's go. So, Emerald pulls out pulls up the video with her being drunk as hell, talking to the officer, admitting to him how she wanted to suck Chase's nasty ass Zeke. Okay? The officer lets her know more than twice or three times you're being recorded. She was like, I don't give a damn. And Carr at this moment decides to get on the table and have a fit. Okay? So now you don't like the way this story is going. You don't like how people treat you, how you treat people. It is okay for you to do it, but if I do it, okay. So she gets on the table. She has this rant and this rave in front of the judge, her partner, Chase, Emerald, and Alora. And she starts to cry. Again, you cannot weaponize nobody with your white woman tears after you done threw this lady assault in her face. Car has been able to get away with her language, with her disrespect throughout the years. And everybody just sat there. Everywhere she goes, she sits there and she takes it. And I'm assuming, even when you see her in action in other places, they sit there and take her disrespect. Like, she's a disrespectful asshole. Okay? And I wasn't mad at what Emerald did. Okay? Because you deserve that one. So, I mean, she sent the people fecal matter for their 10-year anniversary. And all because they didn't take her with her. And it's like, girl, go to hell. Okay, this is stupid. Okay? So Emerald car leaves. She goes into the break room and she tells all of those people who work there that they need to get out. Screaming, having a fit. And they leave. So Emerald goes in to tell Carl, you need to settle. And she tells Emerald, my life is hard. Hard how? Emerald was like, pot, meat, kettle. I got 3 boys. And I went to law school. People looked at me like I wasn't going to make it. They didn't want me to be on their, the girls didn't want me to join their funky ass sorority. So I had to prove to people how good I was. I hate that she have to prove herself. Again, if you watch my Bel Air, how we have to prove ourselves to be accepted or to be seen. I don't know, in workspaces. Okay, we have to prove ourselves for them to bring on their nephew who have 0 fucking experience. Okay, happy Black History Month. All right. She tells Car, she don't have to destroy. You don't have to destroy us to prove to us that you are as good as we are. And of course, she decides to still make this a pissing contest and said, I'm better. Okay, girl, you're better. Fine. Whatever. So Emerald tells Car that she admired her. And Car was like, who, me? You admire me? Girl, yes. Damn it. And told her if you settle, I'm going to get your daughter into Benedict. Okay? We know that your daughter is good, but I sit on the board. See, you see, and here is the thing. You just choose to be a bitch all your life to these people, and the one thing that you want is for your daughter to get in a school that fits her. And this lady holds the key to that. But you made it your mission to make this lady a bitch. She said, I can say no, and your daughter can never, basically she couldn't get into school. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that for you if you settle. Okay? So Alora comes in and she admits to Car, I should have asked you to come with us. She apologized and she was like, I didn't realize me not asking you what it has caused, the damage it has caused to you. And she apologized and she tell him, hey, we just want to end this feud. And they hug. And I was like, oh, girl, go check your neck. She probably, that chick gonna turn green. All right. So they decided, Car was like, okay, listen, we'll do a 50-50 and, of personal assets and what they originally agreed, whatever the prenup said, they're going to just go back on the original prenup. So Chase is sitting there and the law office is closed. He's sitting there waiting for Alora to come. And she comes out, she extends her hand, he grabs her hand, takes it. And again, the over excessive touching. Stop touching. You're touching this lady, rubbing on her, and you kissed her. Chase, we don't know where your nasty ass lips then. Okay? I just don't like how he uses his charm and his Delilah spirit to just he just always have to just come on to the women. Like, that is so tacky to me. And she stopped, and she walked out the door. Like, boy, you, okay? So, first of all, I want to say, Doug, you fucked the city up with this one. Dougie, okay? You the city up with this one. Cause that hurt my feelings. Alright? So Dina is laying next to her Dougie, and you can hear him breathing just like until, and positions herself to lay on his shoulders and put her hand on his heart until he took his last breath. When I tell y'all, I was like, who crying? I'm not crying. You crying. And yeah. So let me know what y'all gonna get for the repast. I'm gonna get like 3 pans of chicken. I'm gonna get 3 pans of pigs in the blanket. Okay, I want to bring some good chicken to this, but I'm gonna see if Dina wants some fried chicken. Okay, not to be racial and not to be stereotypical. Okay, but we gonna bring some fried chicken. Okay, rest in peace to my nigga Dougie. That hurt my feelings, y'all. That hurt my feelings. Okay, this is where the episode ended. Yep. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Okay. Yeah. And I will see y'all tomorrow on Turkey Day. Okay, I'm gonna find something real nice to wear so I can come to y'all with the bullshit. Okay, shout out to Todd. This is a scheme that Todd set up for him to come to you with the bullshit. Okay, I'll come to y'all tomorrow with more reviews and probably a House of Pain short. I'm gonna always do a short of every episode of the rest of the season for House of Pain. Anyway, until then, y'all toodles. I will see y'all tomorrow. Okay, enjoy y'all Turkey Day Eve. Don't be in the stores all night. They might be closing early, but I'm finna go because I got to go get my wine coolers because I don't know if the store gonna be open tomorrow. All right, see y'all.